Sunday morning in Abu Dhabi. And the reason why I'm saying Sunday morning is because the event shifted to Sunday morning. But in Abu Dhabi, Dustin Poirier defeated Conor McGregor by a second round TKO. Now, let me talk about this a little bit, Nate. I'll read some stats off and then let me talk about this. I'll start first, okay? So, if we're talking about total strikes, Conor McGregor had 52 out of 92 compared to Dustin Poirier's 58 out of 98. Oh, excuse me, 53 out of 98. Significant strikes. Conor McGregor landed only 29 out of 66, while Dustin Poirier landed 48 out of 91. Dustin Poirier had one takedown in the first round, and Conor McGregor didn't attempt a takedown. Obviously, Conor McGregor is not a wrestler. Conor McGregor was 2 for 2 on his leg kicks, while Dustin Poirier went 18 for 21. And then for head shots to the head, McGregor landed 23 out of 60, and Dustin Poirier landed 30 out of 69. Let me talk about this fight a little bit, okay? This is a complete lesson to everybody. We know who Conor McGregor is. We know how great, we know how elite that man is. But let me tell you something. Never underestimate another opponent. I'm not saying Conor McGregor did that. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying all these fans who picked Conor McGregor did. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm one of them. I thought Conor McGregor was going to win by a fourth round TKO. Did I think it was going to be easy? No, because I know what Dustin Poirier is capable of doing. You got to also realize the first time they fought, they were a weight class lower, so they were a featherweight. So when Dustin Poirier moved up to lightweight, his career really did take off. And we're talking about a guy who has beaten contenders like Justin Gaethje. He has beaten Eddie Alvarez. He has beaten Max Holloway. He has beaten some of the best fighters in the game. And the lightweight division is a pretty packed division considering the fact that Khabib is retired. It's a pretty packed division. As going for Conor, I do wish him the best of luck in his future career. Obviously it's sad to see Conor McGregor go lose like that because Conor McGregor in the UFC never lost standing. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always like tapped out or he might have had like a division loss on his record, decision loss. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but the point is he never really lost by a KO or a TKO until Sunday morning. That's why I'm technically counting out. It was at 1 a.m. when he lost. Before then, he never really lost by a knockout or TKO in the UFC. Another thing I want to commend Dustin Poirier on is his leg kicks. He landed 18 leg kicks. Let me tell you something. Conor McGregor's leg was shattered. It was completely shattered in that fight. He beat that leg to a pulp. And when Conor got clipped with that huge hit, there's nothing Conor could really do. Your leg is no longer in use. You just got clipped with a very hard hit. You're gonna fall down. And I mean, I got to give a lot of credit to Dustin Poirier. This was one loss on his record that he needed to redeem, and he did. And now there's probably going to be a third fight because I think I heard Conor say, I heard Poirier, but in the fight industry, you just never know. Poirier is probably going to move on to bigger things before that third fight even happens because we're also talking because there are a couple lightweights right now. If Khabib doesn't come back, that Poirier can fight. For example, the co-main event, Michael Chandler, he defeated Dan Hooker, who was a great fighter. He defeated him in like 2 minutes within the first round. So you could see Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler, or you could see Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. There's also Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is a very good lightweight too. So those four guys I think are really in the mix. And as for Conor, it's just going back to the drawing board. He said he wants to fight a couple more times this year, which I think is great because he even said himself, being inactive in this sport will not get you anywhere. And this has been the first time he has fought in 371 days. So it's not being inactive is not going to get you anywhere in the UFC. You have to stay active, and I think Conor can easily bounce back from this. And I think if he wants to bring his career back on track, I think that's the first thing he needs to do is take a fight with somebody else that's not in that top five and bounce and rise back up in the rankings. This is no longer. I'm gonna be honest with you, Nate. Right now, this is not the elite Conor McGregor. He will always be box office. Conor McGregor will always be a box office fighter. Conor McGregor is that one fighter that everybody wants to tune in and watch. That's never going to change. But he is not the elite Conor McGregor that we've seen that won 2 belts in the UFC. It's not the same guy. But I'm not saying he'll never ever get there. In order for him to get back there, he is going to have to climb the ranks like he did from the beginning of his career. And no doubt in my mind tells me he can do it. But again, it was a very tough loss for me to watch, especially I like Conor McGregor. I did not expect him to get knocked out like that. It's a very tough loss to watch, looking at Conor McGregor like that. But I mean, Dustin Poirier really has improved since that first fight. He's shown it in a second round TKO against Conor McGregor, and he's shown why he is one of the best UFC fighters fighting right now. And I'll let it go on to you, Nate. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man. First of all, congratulations to Dustin Poirier. I gotta give a lot of credit to Conor McGregor though, because we all see Conor McGregor as this he talks a lot of junk and all of that, right?
Right.
But he actually had he actually had the decency to go up to him after the fight and be like, you were the better fighter and all of that. And I do want to confirm he did say that he wants to fight him again. When I do not know, like we can't tell you for sure, but he did say that he wants to fight again, fight Poirier again. So, but I gotta give a lot of credit to Conor McGregor. He showed some good sportsmanship. That's something you want to see in the sports world. It's something that I think all athletes should have. And like you said, you basically covered everything. Dustin Poirier improved a great deal since the first fight. Um, as for Conor McGregor, like you said, he wants to fight a few times. I'm happy for that. I want to see him back in the octagon doing his thing again. Um, so with that said, congratulations to Dustin Poirier. As for Conor McGregor, like you said, back to the drawing board, next man up. You just got to do your thing.
Absolutely. And I mean, and first of all, I'll say it one more time. This Conor McGregor will always be box office. It doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what he does. He will always be box office because Conor McGregor is that dude. Conor McGregor is that guy. On the other hand, though, you can't leave this division for 371 days because in a year, this division can evolve so quickly. The UFC can evolve so quickly. In a year, you have a new champion. When Habib was fighting, Habib was the champion for over a year. Habib was beating guys like Dustin Poirier. He was beating guys like Justin Gaethje, like the Conor McGregors. He was embarrassing these guys. And when Habib retired, now the division is suddenly wide open. Let me tell you something. I think for the lightweight belt, I think I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Justin Gaethje is gonna have to fight Michael Chandler, and whoever wins that will fight Dustin Poirier. Because I'm gonna be real with you, out of those three guys, if there's anyone that has a chance to fight Dustin, if there's anyone that deserves to have a title shot, it's Dustin Poirier. The only guy he has lost to is Habib in that lightweight division. That's it. That's it. And that's saying something because everybody loses to Habib. There's a reason why he's 29-0. You know what I'm saying? So if there's one guy that deserves that title shot, it's Poirier. I'm being honest. Justin Gaethje. I want to see Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. And Michael Chandler, this was a guy I didn't know if he was gonna. He's like a two-time or three-time Bellator lightweight champion, which is great. But Bellator is nowhere close to the skill like UFC is. And he went to the UFC, and I didn't know how good he was gonna perform. But he came in. He had an insanely incredible knockout of Dan Hooker. He ended up winning in the first round, and he proved that he belongs in the UFC off that fight because Dan Hooker is a great fighter. So now I think Michael Chandler should fight Justin Gaethje, considering the fact that he's only been there for one. He's only had one fight. I think if he beats Justin Gaethje, I think I can see Poirier versus Chandler. If he loses to Gaethje, I want to see Poirier versus Gaethje too, because the first time they fought, Poirier TKO'd Justin Gaethje. But I think those three are in the conversation for a lightweight championship fight, and that helps because that gives Conor a lot more time to kind of have a couple more fights and prepare to be back in that be back in that picture. So to end this, really, what I want to say is, congratulations to Dustin Poirier, an absolutely incredible performance by him. He absolutely did a phenomenal job. As for Conor McGregor, I got to commend him for stepping back into that octagon. He really doesn't have to. The dude's rich. He's set for life, but he steps in because he wants to fight and because he wants to put on a show for the fans. And for that, I appreciate him very much. So with that being said, again, congrats to Dustin Poirier and good luck to Conor McGregor in his future fights.